this will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Now a give right side. Carson. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13. 3rd and long. It's Wilson. Here's Carson with a catch out of the backfield. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
Jackson. Flushed out right. He'll try and run it. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
Well, that was man coverage. So once he decides to run with the football, there's no one to account for him, and he turns it into a nice gain.
And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Willie Snead. His 9th touchdown of the season as the Ravens push further out in front. Boy, these guys are off to the races, Charles. 20-0 already, extra point pending.
Yeah, you always hear that term. They just boat race someone. Heck, it's car race, motorcycle race, plane race, whatever you want. Right now, they are sprinting past them.
Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down. You know, but hold on, let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. On first down, it's Carson. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 12. On the delay, here's Carson. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. On 3rd down, Wilson. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. So here are the Ravens to take over on offense. Their win streak at 6 coming in and counting as they've got the lead right now beginning this drive 1st and 10. There goes Mark Ingram. He's at the 30, 20, And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Mark Ingram, an 80-yard touchdown as the Ravens push further out in front. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This one fielded at the 5. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time, first half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
From the gun on third down, Wilson. And it's hauled in by Nick Vanette. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. And what they're challenging here is the spot of the ball, and this is probably the hardest challenge to win.
So difficult.
Let's go, baby.
Lady.
Watch the run. You got double tight.
And the challenge pays dividends. The ref overturns the play.
Everyone gets a bonus on this one, Brandon. The coach upstairs who signaled down and said challenge it, and the head coach for pulling the red flag.
That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down. Right now in the second quarter on the defensive side, they got to feel pretty good about what they're doing.
They should embrace the feeling they have now, embrace the way that they're playing, and continue that through the half. I know defensive coordinators, sometimes they overthink it, start wondering how they're going to be attacked. Just keep doing what you're doing because it's working.
On second and 11 now, Wilson. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Pernell McPhee, always a threat to find the QB, and he gets to him there.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games. We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought the punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
Mark Ingram now gears up to help lead this offense back out there. Those are his numbers through roughly the first half of the season, and given that, you'd have to think he's on pace for a 1,000-yard campaign.
Steady as he goes, steady goes the offense. But you know what else is happening, too, because they are a team now recognized with the ability to run the football. You've got to be able to throw it better now, right? Better throwing lanes, better opportunities for the guys downfield, maybe more one-on-one coverage, which you should be able to beat easier. Yeah, he's establishing not just a tone, but an identity for his team.
And that's a discussion we had a couple days ago in the team meetings, talking about this running game, opening up the passing game. We'll see if that continues to happen. That's good for a Raven first down, 15 yards there. Jackson and the offense come up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. And another mistake here defensively as a flag is down on the tackle. And that's going to tack on 15 more. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
He's got his man. It's Andrews. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews in the final seconds of the first half as his guys continue to pour it on.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. This is taken at the 3. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will it be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'd love to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Well, a couple of good division battles coming up in primetime this weekend, starting tonight with Sunday Night Football, Eagles and Cowboys from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Then tomorrow on Monday night, it's the defending champs, the Patriots, on the road at MetLife Stadium to take on the Jets. 2 not to miss to close out Week 6. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time. Wilson after the play fake to Carson. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They run the counter. Carson, he'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got to just pin their ears back and get after him now.
Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave them with a 3rd and about 5. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. That's complete into the hands of Carson. And he's got the 1st down before being taken down at the 46. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 46. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Jaron Brown, the intended target. That'll bring up 2nd down. An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now a give right side. It's Carson. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make it 3rd and 13. Now Wilson throwing on 3rd and long. And now off to the races down the right side. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. This D wanted to put it away before we even get to the 4th quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And following the pick 6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick 6. We'll see how they attack this run.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
They told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Tyler Lockett was the target there. And now it's second down.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Now it's Wilson. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up fourth down. Another drive comes and goes, still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
He's going to fire one deep over the middle. It's caught inside the 25. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown, an 80-yard touchdown as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And there, Charles, he lined up out left, ran the post, caught it over the middle, and the rest, as they say, is history.
And you have to love the scheme that they just showed there, because if you're going to run a deep post, you ordinarily have to get a safety out of the middle of the field. And you do it one of two ways, either by running routes at him that carries him away from it, or you either freeze him in the middle with routes that run underneath so that he doesn't get depth. Then you throw it over the top, and boy, what a successful play that was.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Back now in Seattle, Washington. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. 5 yards on first down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on second. The Seahawks on third down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 4. Completes it to Dixon. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A great pickup there, 35 yards, and obviously the first down to go along with it. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Now Wilson. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Here's Wilson. He'll find Metcalf. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. Well, this ball game certainly has gotten a little out of hand. This is normally when they say you got to fill. This is fill time for guys like you and I. But yeah, to be frank, just a dominating performance. Really impressive what we've seen.
It is, and I'm glad that you went in that direction because otherwise we're going to have to talk about the museum tour we took yesterday.
Which was also impressive.
Which was also very impressive. But this game, how they've done it, offense, defense, special teams, they put it all together. And I got to tell you, I am beyond impressed by what I've seen from this team.
Give them 32 on the play.
That's it, baby. We're going to work.
Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Throwing is Jackson. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right?
No.
I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
Going. She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
Jackson's pass complete to Nick Boyle. Touchdown, Baltimore.
Tucker now for the extra point.
Lining up for the extra point.
Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead.
The score, Ravens 56, Seahawks 3.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
They'll be going for 6. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. Well, call it luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. This complete to Lockett. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Now Wilson. And this is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Ravens get the football back and in great shape. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Oh, he sheds himself free, and they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
But she's singing, too.
Oh, she's
on, like, the fifth tune.
Yeah, she left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team.
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
And Dixon has it. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. They get 17 on that one. Move the chains. First down, Seahawks. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. From the gun, it's Wilson. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different